tired. It's supposed to be hot here, and then I'm going somewhere this weekend that's supposed to be about 5, 6 degrees hotter.
Oh, God, lucky you,
Central Valley.
Good.
Yeah, Central Valley. It is what it is.
I was down in Vegas this past weekend.
Oh, Lordy.
Visiting my in-laws. Actually, it wasn't terrible.
Oh,
It was
yeah?
like Between 98 and 102 the entire time.
Oh, anything over 85.
I have a cousin that lives there who calls me quite often, you know, and because I look at, when they show the Reno news to see what it is, I said, well, at
Yeah,
least we're not that bad.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, it's usually 110 to 100.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
time of year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 106 on Friday when I drive down. And that's Modesto, just south of
Oh,
Modesto.
that's always hot over there.
I know it is, but
Bad.
I wasn't expecting it to be that hot when I
Right.
went to go down this weekend, but not much to be said at this point. I'm glad my air conditioner and my campers work. At least one of them is.
Yeah,
The other one's busted and we're trying to figure out why, and it's a brand new trailer and we've had 2 technicians come out. And I told the guy, I said, I think it's a wiring process between the cooler and the nozzle. I said, there's gotta be a fry wire somewhere. They found one, replaced that, replaced the nozzle, replaced the sensors, replaced the air conditioner. And it's still not registering. And I went, there's a different wire then. I'm telling you right now, with what I do for a living, it's a wiring problem. Nobody wants to believe me. I said, well, you better figure it out. It's because I am not roasting.
I'm surprised.
I refuse. Yeah. I don't have very good capacity to control my own body heat, so I don't sweat like normal people, unfortunately, and if I get overheated, I get sick, so.
Yeah.
I'm not roasting when I go down there, so I told my husband, I said, well, you know, let's go to the Bay Area on Saturday, it'd be nice and cool.
That's a better place to go.
It is, we're gonna go up to Point Bonita and look at the lighthouse and walk the trails, it's supposed to be about 20 degrees cooler.
yeah,
I said, thank you, I will enjoy.
they've had a record cold summer.
Yeah,
They went like it hasn't been above 75, 80 degrees the entire time.
no, cause what was it, last month? Last month I drove into San Francisco and it was
Hello.
85 degrees.
Hi.
I went, holy cow,
That's odd for them, huh?
it is. I mean, I don't go to the Bay Area very often, but
Right.
you know, I was like,
I used to go, or my family, just go down there and stay in a motel and go around, you know.
Right.
Right. We started going down with, the Future Nurses Club of, at the high school. And so then I said, to my mom, oh, let's go. So, you know, I drove and everything. I was still in high school and whatever. So, and stayed in the same hotel that we stayed in with, the Future Nurses Club. And then just went around like that.
nice.
Yeah, so then went down a couple of times.
Yeah, I went down there, last time AC/DC came to AT&T Park down there. That was a mess trying to get in and out of that area because there were thousands of people and they cordoned off a 2-mile radius around AT&T Park that you could not Uber, taxi, nothing. You had to walk 2
Walk all the
miles.
way, huh?
Uh-huh. So we wound up walking 2 miles, me, my husband, my daughter, and then we found an Uber that was willing to pick us up. I said, well, thank you, because I wasn't gonna try to park down there.
Yeah.
That was just crazy. I try to either Lyft or Uber because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
I wound up staying at one of the hotels down there, it was so expensive. Good grief.
Yeah, it's terrible all over, you know?
It is. It's like almost $400 for one night.
400?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was just because it was the time of year.
Yeah, yeah. Those, whatever.
Right. Yeah, they're there.
I was just worried about, was gonna hurt, she was supposed to. I couldn't use a way about it, or something, she's gonna do a medical.
Oh. Look at that.
We should try to come instead, or?
I don't know how he did it.
Oh,
Hi.
hey.
We got all these people in from Texas and I got busy at a birthday party and all of a sudden looked and I go, it's 5:20. I'm late. I had to run home and get my book. A minute to spare. What the heck?
Take care of them. That was early.
Almost did a sherry.
Right. Forget.
That was Barbara's fault.
I had the teaser.
Actually, sometimes I do forget about what time it is, cause I'm
I did
busy.
too. I
And
was busy and
only living 2 minutes away,
Yes.
literally coming up the street, I mean, Lee.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like, wait, oh, it is.
So,
I knew I had to make pen and all this junk.
Your flashlight's on too. Your flashlight on, your key ring's on.
Oh, is this?
Yep, there you go.
The only bright thing over here.
That's it, you, I'm sorry, you have to be.
Okay, let's bring this meeting to order at 5:30. HPUD order and we'll do a flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call. Ms. Kessler,
I'm here.
Mr. Forrest, absent. Mr. Harris
here,
and Mrs. Johnson is gonna be on Zoom, I think, maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe not.
yeah,
And I'm here, John.
well,
Ah. Okay, we're the number 4, approve of the agenda. From last month,
I'll make an emotion to approve the agenda.
I second that,
all those in favor say aye.
aye,
Public comment, is there anything on Zoom or anything written?
No.
Nobody here has anything for public comment, okay? Okay, minutes, review and possible action approving the minutes from July 22nd, 2025, regular board meeting. Mr. Harris, did you have anything on,
no, I didn't, sir, thank you,
you okay with that?
yes,
Ms. Kessler,
I'm good.
hey, have a motion,
Motion to approve it.
I second,
all in favor, say aye.
aye,
I,
No opposed, 1 absent, 2 absent.
okay,
Okay. Financials, review and file July 2025 financial statement. Mr. Harris, have anything
No,
on
no.
financial statements?
no, I don't, sir.
Mrs. Petzler,
I do not.
Mr. Harris, you don't? or-
No, I don't, sir,
Okay.
sorry,
Make a motion to accept the financials for July 2025 financial statements.
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
aye,
Thank you. And then we've got Shaw Engineering, information on recoding the elevated tank and possible accepting a bid. Thank you, sir. We're driving out here to visit us.
ah,
Of course.
Alrighty, so last Tuesday, we received bids from 4 bidders. One even as far as Nebraska, decided to bid on the elevated tank project. We received a range of bids from 1.229 million and 446,000. So the estimate I had before we went out to bid was around the 393. It came in a little bit higher than that. I've provided a recommendation.
Yeah, I read it.
I did, so,
You guys probably read it, yeah.
I did.
so. It's within the reasonable range and the contractor was responsive, holds the appropriate licensor to be performing the work. My recommendation that I provided was that, provided a budget review and available funding that the project be awarded to Unified Field Services Corporation, which was the low bidder for this project.
Have you dealt with these people before, Owen?
I have not, however, I made some calls around and even one of the other bidders who bid on this project, Resource Development, they were second lowest. They had worked with them before and they're reputable. So I'm confident that they'll be able to perform the work.
Can they fit our time zone that we need it done?
Yep.
October to December, September, whatever, for the they figure 3 months also. They have the time schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, Sherry, you got something?
Nope.
Questions? Mr. Harris got questions on the
No.
elevated tank?
Can you clarify for the board, you were saying that there was like a $25,000, if they didn't have any change orders?
Right. Yeah, so typically with construction projects, things come up here and there. So one of the items in the bid schedule is what we call a force account. This essentially covers those minor odds and ends. If something comes up, say a little bit of welding needs to be done or a little bit of patching needs to be done, rather than having Sandy come to the board with a change order for $300, $400, small items. This gives her the authority to authorize these minor work items, so we can complete them in a timely manner. And we're not having to wait to come to the board. If something big does come up, obviously that comes to you.
We'll have a special meeting if something happens.
Exactly, yep. So there is an item in there. If we get through the entire project and there aren't any change orders or any changes that come up, that $25,000 gets returned back to the. So
Off of the 400 and what was it?
$446,880.
So 25 would come off of that?
Yep.
If they didn't have any change orders.
Correct, and yeah.
Now, if they only use $5,000 in change orders, do we get the 20 back?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So whatever difference there is there
Okay.
gets issued as a credit.
Question, sir, they're ahead of schedule, they're a bonus.
There is not one written into the contract, so not with this project.
Okay.
What's the threshold value of high dollar? So obviously she'll have the ability to, a couple $100, couple thousand. What's the threshold on the high value?
Certainly, so that would be, so this force account would authorize up to $25,000. So with this, you would be authorizing the work to be performed and that $25,000 threshold, I guess,
Okay.
temporary for this project. So that would be, or you guys feel the need to change that or limit that. And, I don't want to step on any toes, but
Sure.
that's up to your guys'.
Well, normally we can spend $10,000 on something,
That's what I was wondering,
Yeah.
because like, there's a
Normally.
cap on like a single item.
but so this is a special request,
Gotcha.
which makes sense in reality because we don't need to come back to the board if they come back and need, some $1,500 item. If we don't do this, it stops the process. So
Yeah.
it's already 3 months.
I thought the threshold was 15.
I'm sorry,
I thought the threshold was 15,000.
it used to be 10.
There
It-
depends on the project, but there's up to 15 on the,
Right.
I think on contractors.
Well, what's the 10,000? It's something you can spend on something that happens and you don't have to come to the board. That's where I got the 10 at. Okay. All right, thank you for clarification. We need a motion, and it'll have to be motion for it, and when we vote, it has to be done by the clerk to ask us our answer.
It's gonna be function.
I'll make a motion then to award this elevated tank coating and to be done by this company for 446,000 and change.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor, we have to go through I think we need to have a roll call on spending that much money.
Okay, Sherry,
I approve.
Kate, Lee,
Yes,
you approve?
I approve, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And no you on there.
Yeah, her computer's doing updates.
Oh, my God.
That's always the case.
No problem. Okay, it is, thank you, Owen. Appreciate your presentation and, thank you for going out to bid and checking everything, because I know before we've had low bids and somebody forgets to sign something and it throws everything out of kilter. So I'm glad that you did that before.
Me too.
Yes,
And last week, Ellen and Ken Mallory and our staff, we all met and went through all the schematics for the elevated tank. And then tomorrow, we're all gonna do a pre-walkthrough of draining the tank and what it's gonna take to make sure our operations go smooth. So we're prepping ahead of time and gonna do a couple of practices before, make sure that everything.
where the real deal happens, shut it down.
So that the community doesn't even know it's happening at home. You know, we don't want anybody to not have water at their tap, so. Eula says she'll join as soon as her computer allows her to.
Okay,
So, so at that point in time, no matter what you vote on, it has to be a roll call vote.
Any action item.
With, yeah, any action items when it's on Zoom.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
That's why I asked for you to ask us.
okay.
We got fire department. We have fire department people here.
Yay.
Maybe we get an actual something from the fire department. And it's sort of a change. We haven't had anybody here forever to represent the fire department, tell us about their calls. Talk about their training. And this young man right here is the newest member sitting next to Patty Krupa.
Yay.
He's the one with the mustache.
I'm the one without a mustache.
All right, all right.
Still kind of left out. We had a few medical calls.
Up here.
Well, Mike gets back, I'll have him go up there and tell me, but.
Well, Mike will be back in a minute.
Yeah. Coming back, boss? Yeah, they want you to talk.
Oh, we are talking?
About the calls and training we did.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I don't know what people are about.
How many calls you have last month? And,
I have no idea.
oh, you don't know?
Yeah.
Oh, well, no either. I bet you Sandy knows.
Yes, Sandy probably knows. I'm sure she does.
I think it's say a little bit about what we did on calls.
It just, the most were medicals and I think one fire, I think, Sandy.
In July, we just had, there was 14 calls and 9 calls that were responded to by volunteers.
Oh,
Yeah, medical.
yeah, medical pretty much.
Okay, and,
So the chief's truck is 99% done. They did a little mechanical weld on the dash to take care of things, and Bob called me today and said, everything's running with the odometer, is that okay? And I said, no. I said, we've gotta have the odometer, because the board would like to know how many miles each call is and what's being done with that truck. So we should have it, he says. He found this company that once we pay to ship it, they pay to ship it back, it's like $250 to go through that dash, all that electrical, make sure everything is correct, which is smart since, a lot of times those roads are dirt roads and bumpy and potholes. So, and it's a lifetime warranty. So for $250, we'll send that off and get back, so we should have that back after Labor Day. Seems that it takes about a week to go to North Carolina, have it done and get it back here, so. It will be on its way back, and then the truck will be complete.
So that means that he'll return it to us after Burning Man, is that what you're saying? I'm just.
Just told me that Burning Man was, this weekend, so I
Oh, you
didn't.
said after Labor Day. So, yeah.
So.
Oh,
anyway,
my God.
So we should have the truck back, otherwise I'd hope to have it, he thought he could have it last week, this week for us, but, unfortunately. It was working and then it wasn't, so.
Okay,
We did our first with all of us, our first monthly meeting, because according to our bylaws, we need to do a monthly volunteer fire department meeting. We did a volunteer fire department meeting last Tuesday, and went over being respectful to each other and respecting our equipment, because we've got a $250,000 brush truck, and each one of our structure gear is $3,500 a piece, not counting our SCBA's, which those alone are another $1,500 to $2,000 each. Just a realization that it's public funds, and that we need to be taking care of the equipment that the volunteers have. And then we went over, they all kind of learned something new on the fire extinguishers. There's a new hay extinguisher for which Sherry should have at her house, because it's for kitchen fires. Not that you ever have a kitchen fire, but you are our chef on the board. So it was kind of
Yeah, it was definitely something new. I didn't know about this thing until this meeting,
yeah,
because I know.
Never heard of that.
yeah,
I've always just had an ABC in my house.
yeah. No, there's A, B, C, D, and K.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Never heard of a K till now.
And so, and
Case
it
Hey, for
started out
kitchen.
telling us about it, and then the class was a webinar. And then Garrett was nice enough that he read them all out loud to us, and he knew all the answers on top of that, so then we had discussions, so I'm very pleased that Garrett has joined our fire department and pitched in on that training. And then on Friday, we were blessed with depot coming off depot, and they came in and programmed the new radios.
Handhelds
Yeah, all the new
Awesome,
radios.
awesome.
and the brush trucks program, but there's some reason why we can't call out or hear anything, and there's something with the speaker. Later that day, me and Ryan and Matt did some more work on it, and they still can't figure out why it's not letting us hear anything. So something, you'll get something with the speaker in the program or something. And I'm not going to even try to dig into that freaking console, but that can be like Bob or some other guy's problem.
Yeah, as I said, we paid for that to be installed when we got the truck, so,
Something, yeah, something, you got
Might have
something external speaker,
okay.
but it is programmed just we can't hear or call out on it.
One step forward and two steps back.
Yes.
But Chief DeBoer wasn't here, but both the captains were here, plus their crew. They were very appreciative that they all got to do a training in an air conditioning room. It was pretty interesting. They walked all of us through the handhelds and what channels we should be on and with their staff too. So it was a nice training.
Yeah, they taught us how to clone our own radio if we ever get the cord,
Yeah,
and it's real easy, it's so easy.
so it was pretty interesting. I had Brianna take a picture of the cord so she could find out what the cost is on that, whether it's worth for us to have that ourselves or not, because, you know, electronics changes so fast that about the time we get it, we'll need a new one for new radios. So, and then today, Dan Weaver just gave me, information on classes, so I forwarded both to Garrett and Enoch and Mike, included Mike on them.
We'll discuss that probably later, before we're taking.
Okay, yeah, the basics 32, I know Mike has taken the academy. But the basic 32 is offered, and that would be a really good one if Enosh and Garrett could take that, for firefighting, if that's what they would like to do. But there's a list of classes that, and Garrett has said that he would like to take all the classes that are available, so depending on his schedule, and he has a chance to look at those, and then I made a suggestion in my email that next spring, 1A and 1B is available again.
I read that, yeah.
And to have the whole team go with our brush truck because Chief Weaver would show them how to utilize our pump ops on our brush truck. And then again, all three of them driving the obstacle course and knowing their pivot points. It's just a good, you know, I don't care how many times you drive a structure truck or a brush truck or a semi, it's always a nice review. I mean, I enjoyed it a couple of years ago when I took it, just reiteration of your pivot points on a vehicle and knowing how big you are and where that pivot point is. When Mike and Grover and
Yeah.
Crystal and
I
I,
mean, one you really need to take is the pump optional, so you can learn how to run the rest.
yeah,
Driving, go with you,
well, that's one.
1B is great, it's good to have, but the one you wish had is the 1A, because that's the pump operations, how to run the pump and how not to blow up our pump and all that.
Well, that's nice about 1B and Garrett would probably enjoy it because it goes over the mechanics of the truck. I mean, I had fun with the roller going underneath those trucks and seeing, when it just was, I like big equipment. So it was fun to check out all other fire trucks. And so anyhow, it's just a good overall and a good maintenance. I mean, they all talk about the maintenance. When the captains were here, they reminded us how they check all their vehicles every day. They wash their vehicles every day and clean them. You know, we've asked our crew to at least once a month, make sure that they go through and check everything out and do a checkoff list, which I think Mike laid out.
I think they do this month.
So, yeah, so, you know, and especially after a fire, being able to go and get that done. So I think I did include in here, the board had asked about, in the past about other volunteers and what they offer and kind of which I was kind of hoping but we can bring it back for another time, because it also talks about the condition and what you have to go through with Tehama County with their volunteer fire department. And then, the volunteer fire departments, I reached out, only got 3 responses so far, and 2 of them said they don't do anything for their volunteers as a volunteer basis. And one of them said that they pay $10 per call, which is pretty much nothing either. So, just trying to get an idea, because the board had asked for me to look into that. And then we were looking at a possible, part-time chief to help head up or organize. And I put that out to, Chief Weaver at the college and the other, chiefs in Lassen County. I haven't advertised that per se. I'm going to talk to our group and then, you know, see what we come up with. But I don't know, Mike, Enosh, Garrett, you guys got anything else to add or
No.
anything else you got from
Not that I can think of.
Syed?
Question, you've been brought up to $2,500 what is it, brush stuff that you use for the uniforms? How often do we have to change those? Is it,
The structure gear is good for 10 years.
oh, 10, okay, and how old is what we have?
We just purchased those last
They're
year, the board,
very-
Okay,
ordered those. So the big thing about that is that they're used for structure fires and
Right.
not used for medical or for everyday use, because you can't wash those. Those all go away to be, because if you take them home and wash them like regular laundry, you're gonna end up at a fire and you're not gonna be here anymore because there's not gonna be any fire retardant or anything on it to keep you safe. So,
so I can't use it when I go fishing?
no, so.
Go ahead, it's fish blood, oh, that's right, that counts.
So. I've been in two structure fires with my gear, and so it's getting pretty gamey smelling.
So we'll look into seeing where we can send them off to. Clean.
See a material, what did you think?
Well, I don't know,
I'm just saying,
it's something we need to look into. But, you know, and the suggestion at our meeting was, doing a checklist for our first aid, which would include tiebacks or, booties and stuff too for medical, because we go through a lot of medical. So Brianna's working on putting together a checklist so that once a month they can go through and make it easy for them to say, hey, we're down to, you know, one thing of gauze, one, you know, one of this and that we need to order. So trying to put together a checklist to make it easy for the volunteers and make it easy for Brianna to order. So we're working on that too, and that was a suggestion from our volunteers.
Good, thank you. Thank you guys for coming and participating. It's nice to see, you don't have to leave or nothing, I'm just saying,
I
You
just
know.
came to the fire park,
okay.
what you do.
Anyway, okay, so let's recognize employees anniversary. Seems like this guy, Roy Shields, we don't know him, but he's been here for 8 years and, does a heck of a job. Actually, he does an excellent job for us. And recognition, and I guess we have a different thing for the sign other than this piece of paper, right?
I believe so.
Oh, okay, sorry, just to interrupt, I was making sure if he left his materials here.
Yeah, no, Royce has been with us as of July 31st for 8 years. He worked 3 years with Blue and received both distribution and treatment licensing. And then in the last 5 years, he's received his wastewater 1 licensing. Was recognized by California Rural Water for completing those courses in waste management, operation and management in 2024. Royce has already received his longevity pay per our policy that we just updated, the 2023-30.08. And I would just like the board to know, you know, recognize Royce's hard work, his dedication, and how much, you know, he does for this community. And he's really stressed out. I think finally sitting down last week with Owen and Ken Mallory, they really gave him a sign of relief of this project, because he's like, I'm going on vacation for 6 months, see you guys.
No.
He's like, no, just worrying to make sure that this community has water while we're recoding that elevated tank.
Right.
Originally, when we built the ground tank, that was to help serve the community that we had, but then we took on West Patton Village. And we added the elevated tank at that time, and so everything pumps up to the elevated tank and then gravity feeds back. So Shaw Engineering, Owen and his predecessor in the team has engineered our booster pump station. At the last project, we actually upgraded all 3 booster pumps when we added the elevated tank. So we shouldn't have any problems. We have a couple of e-bladders, hydro tanks that were actually built just for us. Most of those hydro tanks are smaller. These are 1,600 gallons a piece, and they will act as a pressure help pressurize the system so that your residents and the rest of the community, we shouldn't have any hiccups when we do this. So this has been, Royce has been doing his algebra and math and figuring things out to make sure everything runs correctly. But I think after we walk through it tomorrow, we both will feel better. So, cause I pretty much have said, none of us are taking vacations for a couple of months until I make sure that this runs smoothly. So,
I got a question to, and I should have asked this, about the coating on the tank. There's nothing cancerous or carcinogen about the coating?
Correct. Yeah, so it's specifically designed for contact with drinking water, and so it has to meet, it's a standard called NSF 61, and so all of the pipes that go in the ground, the pumps, valves, tanks, coating materials, everything of that sort needs to meet that standard. From the National, well, I think Sanitation Foundation, I think that stands for. But yeah, so it's all been tested and approved by them.
Okay.
and so originally when we did the tank, that was, Owen's done some research on it, cause I was kind of disappointed that the coating hasn't lasted as long as I thought it should last, but it was only guaranteed for 15 years and we're at 13. So we haven't done too bad, but the way that it has sprays, and part of this of redoing the tank is we're gonna be we're actually going down.
Yeah, right now what happens is when the water comes up, it's piped up to the top of the tank and it actually kind of sprays like a fountain. For some reason, which you can imagine causes more corrosion. So what we're doing is we're lobbing off the top part of the pipe to bring it just into the tank. And so when the water's in that tank is usually always about half full, so it's gonna be below that. And so it'll just kind of calmly fill the tank and so spray it everywhere.
It lasts a little bit longer.
That's right.
Be like filling the swimming pool at the bottom of the hose at the bottom, or putting a swimming pool from the top.
Right.
And that's been happening every day, 65 days a year for 13 years. So, the pictures that you guys have on that proposal that's in your, that's why the rust, it's actually above the water line, but that's why that tank looks like that inside. We are gonna try to correct that so that, and with this primer and 2 coats, it should make this tank last for 25 years. So hopefully, long after all of us are, well, all of us, but Owen, to be it'll still be safe for the community and be doing its job. So it's a good investment and, and also our due diligence is to swim or drain and inspect every 5 years. And actually, I didn't realize it till I was going through some of my paperwork that it was actually 2020 when we drained this tank and looked at it and inspected it. So in 2025 actually would be on track to have it inspected, which those inspections are $5,000 to $10,000. So we can kind of take that off of our list and say that this tank recoating is saving us a little bit of money this year on a whole, and then it will help in the future. So overall, it's gonna be a great thing, but it's for Royce as our head water operator. He's just been a little stressed out to make sure that the community's water keeps going as you notice it every day and not have a hiccup in it. So he's been a little stressed and we appreciate Royce very much. And 8 years here, is very much appreciated.
And he had to get a gold star putting up with Sandy for 8 years. Or Sandy gets a gold star for putting up with Royce, whatever. You'll be both ways. He's a really hard worker, very dedicated.
Point that Royce put up with Lou, okay, for several years before it was put up with Sandy.
Still stayed.
It stayed.
They survived.
Yes.
That last year with Lou. he
Well,
was
last-
definitely ready to retire.
His last year, we decided to pull the plug, he was a little harder to work with, sure. But
So I
in recognition for,
a clean copy
Yeah.
for you to sign,
Right.
President Everett, so that we can hand that over to Royce. I asked him to be here today, but he, you know.
You got it going on.
Pulling in Johnny's pocket.
call me.
All right, so thank you, I appreciate y'all. You're on
All right.
readout.
Well, it's hard to turn off because it goes about 5 different things where it can, unfortunately. I can turn the noise off, that's what I need to do.
Did you?
Don't you have a switch on the side to just flip and it turns the volume?
I thought it was on.
No, I have to open it before I can shut it down. It's a pain in the,
Dude.
and
Yeah.
Brandy,
No.
this is
Okay.
probably 3 seats in a win.
All right. So resolution 2025-02. Last year, everybody in the state of California had to have a cross connection plan done by June of 2025, but because we had our audit done, they asked us to have ours done by 2024. So I completed the cross connection plan in 2024 and we did an ordinance doing that. This year, they brought back that even though we did ours in 2024, they wanted like 5 more things done and requested. So I've added that to our cross connection plan and that was approved by the state of California Water Board. But the one thing that they asked is that we had a resolution showing that we could do something about it. Our cross connection people would be SIAD, the rural prisons, the school district. And I wanna say the post office building. There's like 9 and 2.
It's not individual houses,
No,
okay,
no. And I will tell you.
because it sort of
that-
almost sounded like it was 3 individual houses, $350. I'm going like, my neighbors next door, they have barely got water, I don't want to smell them. Again, when they don't have water to use the bathroom.
Yeah. No, this would be just, I would be, gonna, after, hopefully this is approved, share our cross connection plan with this resolution, with the rural prisons, with SIAD, with the school district. The school district and the rural prisons have been very good about doing their annual inspections, and I've got copy of those, and those goes in another state report that I do on an annual basis to the state. Our big one is SIAD, and whether they do anything about it or not, we have a contract with them. But this does give us the right that if they don't do it, we can disconnect their water from their stuff after 90 days. I mean, if we give them a notice and say, hey, it's your annual, and they don't do it, and then come back and say, in 90 days, we're gonna disconnect. Or if you guys, if we want to
What?
add fees to it, we can add fees to it. But they just want us to know, they just want something in writing, the state, that we will basically back up our cross connection plan, because could be contamination into our system.
What water do we supply SIAD with?
We have 5 connections, the bowling alley, which is not being used right now.
Well, it is being used. Because they have a childcare, they've been doing it out of there now for several months.
Oh, the bowling alley?
Yeah, that's where the
Yeah.
kids have been.
That's what I've heard.
In the bowling.
Mm-hmm.
If we haven't, I didn't hear about throwing the kid's head down the bowling alley, but they are using it. And because they found, I didn't wrap my head around it too well, but they said there was asbestos, I heard, in the childcare center, and I thought that
In the
was built after.
Symbiosis building,
I thought that was built afterwards, after the
no,
asbestos, but I guess not.
So we have the laundromat and the gym,
Okay,
and then we have the wastewater on the mods that are right there on the hill.
okay, I was just,
So,
and I guess the old VFW building.
but I appreciate, that's not theirs.
Oh, yeah, that's separate. So we don't have to have nothing for backflow for that building.
That's just like a regular, that and the deli are regular, connections.
Okay.
So, the school, like when you see those. I wanna say. Because right outside school, anyway, it's a larger connection.
Okay.
So those are the ones, so my main concern is just being able to, and I will get this to contracting. I know that they're doing some different things with contracting, cause. Even SIAD, they talked about us helping them with their fire net license fees, but until contracting and all this freezes get done, they haven't been able to put something together for us to review and sign for.
Because I know Sherry and I weren't on the board when this was approved. And so that's why I wanted to, ask questions, because I wasn't sure exactly what it was about, because I wasn't on the board. So it's the first time I read about it, and I thought, hopefully it's not each house.
No, the cross connection plan, and it's.
Right, I see it's a major institutions.
I would have put it in your binders, but it would have taken more of your book. I mean, once I finish it in a binder, it's here at the office. If you guys want to look at it and review it, you're more than welcome to. But like I said, I just got the note back from the state saying that they've reviewed everything that I submitted, and we're good to go forward. They just wanted to see a resolution that this district as a whole, we wanted to penalize or disconnect for them not
Right,
having checks, so we have that threatened in a writing.
okay. Thank you for verification. Sherry, you have anything, questions on it?
no, I do not.
Mr. Harris?
No, I do not. Thank you, sir.
My questions have been answered. Thank you. We need to make a motion on this.
Yes, as an action item, and because it is a resolution, it'll need to be a roll call vote too.
Right. I'll just move it, resolution 2025-02 cross connection enforcement plan. Be approved.
I second.
We had,
I approve.
Me,
Yes,
I need, we're doing a roll call vote.
Say
Yeah.
yes is fine.
yes.
Yes, is fine, okay,
yes,
I just thought. we
Any
had
way
to go
they
through.
answer, they can, is good.
Okay.
You should.
I'm learning.
that's okay, we're doing fine.
And a firm is good.
My 7 members on a SDRMA Zoom meeting, you never know what kind of answers we're gonna get from 6 guys, so.
Number 12, written correspondence, information only.
Just, I put in, there wasn't much in here, so I just put in our July newsletter, which talked about non-potable and potable water, just trying to make the community aware. And that we're still restricted on burning. They will do their annual 911 at Susanville Fire Department on starting that morning, and then they will do their challenge that they always do. And then I added in there, we just received our letter from SDRMA with no paid workers' comp claims, congratulating us on no accidents for the last year. So, now that's an interesting letter there, yeah. If you noticed who it's written by and who it's signed by,
Saw that.
I said, somebody should have given me a heads up on that one, so. nice when
Yeah.
you receive
They're
something.
written and signed by the same person.
Mhm.
That's good.
I didn't even know it was coming.
Didn't know you were so good. I need to write it and sign it.
Staff in Sacramento does a great job, so. Yeah, so that's my written correspondence for the month. We haven't received anything else. And then my GM report,
Yeah.
LAFCO meeting, they redid their officers, so Todd Ide is president for like the 18th year. And Mandy Schusner, who was the mayor, is still the vice president or vice chair of the LAFCO board. Jennifer's still doing a fantastic job and she's really good about getting things done. In October, they're gonna bring back discussion about special districts. It's October 20th at 3 o'clock, that meeting. It's like the fourth. It's quarterly, LAFCO meetings are quarterly. But, you know, it's something I talked about earlier and something that Pat and I both firmly believe that with LAFCO, our LAFCO is one of two in the state of California that doesn't have a special district on it. And LAFCO governs special districts. They're the ones that do our MSRs, they're the ones that tell us we're a sphere of influence. They're the ones that can tell us we no longer can be a district. They can force you to combine. Can't tell you how important it is to have somebody that from a special district on that board that knows what special districts. Up until a couple of years ago, I mean, Todd knows a lot about LAFCO, but he's never been a special district person. Chris Gallagher, while he was on the board of supervisors, he was appointed to the LAFCO board, and I was happy to have Chris on there because he worked in Greenville special district, Spalding special district. Not only being a retired sheriff, he's also a retired GM for special districts. He's, you know, keeps his membership with California Special District Association and tries to keep on top of things. So that's the first time that I felt like in the 20 years that I've been involved with LAFCO that we actually had somebody that knew something about special districts. It's kind of like the grand jury that's supposed to govern over us, but has no idea what a special district is. So it's just nice. So usually they take the whole year's expenses and divide them between the county, the city, and all the special districts. There's 12 special districts in Lassen County. So basically, it would be a third to the county, a third to the city, and then a third divided among the 12 special districts, and that would be divided in your revenues, who makes the most. So LMUD would be first, then us, and the rest of them would trickle down, because we have the library district, we have a few districts that don't make any income at all, so we would be second to the one on funding there. But they got the board to approve, LAFCO board and the county and city to approve, instead of us paying 33%, that we only pay, special districts pays like 15%. Which I think our portion would be approximately like $500 or $600 annually, which isn't gonna affect our budget as a whole. Then the next step, once they get that taken care of, would be to nominate at least 2 special districts on the board. So any one of our board members or any of the 12 special districts in Lassen County could fill those 2 board spaces on the LAFCO board. I would highly recommend that, you know, with HPUD and LMUD being the 2 that are putting in the most money, that at least one of the board members from HPUD or LMUD is involved on that LAFCO board, just so that we have a say. But that's saying it's probably gonna take another year before that happens, because we've got to get all this pushed through to even have our say and be able to vote to get 2 people. It might be next spring or the following fall before they'd be looking for board members, but. You know, if it's something that you enjoy, it's only 3-4 times a year, because it's quarterly, and it's at 3 o'clock. And it's usually about an hour meeting. It's not very much, but it does review all the special districts in our area. And they do it, their MSRs on them. And it's, you know, like when we started HPUD. And, well, we started that paperwork in 06, 07. We got February 14th of 2008 officially a district. And then we went back to LAFCO because we were still paying large property taxes on the wells, so we got them to include our wells as part of our district. If we ever want to enlarge our fire boundaries, which originally this board wanted to do when we took over West Patton Village, but because of kind of the crunch there at the end, poor Beulah's trying to. I think she's probably given up. I was gonna have you just tell her that we're done. Still no luck, yeah, just. Okay. Anyway, I'm passionate about it and feel like that we should be part of that. So I plan on attending the October 20th meeting again. I usually go to the LAFCO meetings because they're, you know, they're short. It's just informational. But it's something that I think this board should hopefully look favorable towards so that we have a say in special districts in the county.
I think I went to one of their board meetings.
You did, and Jennifer, that was when Jennifer first was taking over for Jonathan Law.
Yeah.
And she's, you know, kind of pushing this forward. She's also the one that got all the fire departments in Plymouth County. So that Plymouth County is now a JPA and has all of their fire departments, all their volunteers under one hat. You and I went to a LAFCO meeting and we went to a special meeting for the fire departments. Which would be very beneficial for all the fire departments in Lassen County to be under one
Umbrella, yeah.
umbrella, because it would help them all to train together. They'd all have the same equipment, they take first round lead and talked about at that point, if Furlong wanted an EMT on the weekends, we could possibly put our name in the pot, so that we could keep an EMT out here on the weekends or during the week and kind of everybody, you know, if Enosh or Mike or whatever them had a specialty and they wanted to be in a different area of Lassen County, they could actually participate in different areas or different firehouses as things came available to help everybody out. You know, there's Grass Valley and Plymouth, or so Nevada County and Plymouth County are the two so far up our directions that have combined all of their volunteer fire departments into one.
Have you talked to anybody from Plymouth County, see how they like it?
The person that I talked to up there, they said everything, they thought it was outstanding and they're really glad that it's taken a lot of pressure off of them. Cause they have a training and everybody, you know, they've got a training schedule, they've got certified trainers. So if any of them wanna get red cards, any of the volunteers wanna get red cards and be able to do stuff for CAL FIRE, they can. But, you know, it felt like when Johnny and I went a couple of years ago, it was kind of like going to a soccer or a 4-H meeting with all the adults. There were so many chiefs in the room that everybody wanted to be important and nobody wanted to give up and unfortunately, even a couple of our board members in the past that were really for the fire department or were fire oriented, didn't want to take that control out because we're giving up our control of our fire department to some extent by doing that. He went up, and so it's like you get a lot of chiefs involved and nobody wants to be.
Well, what I've heard of it seems like a win-win for everybody. You know, it's better training, better cross training for everybody involved. And like you say, you know, say Enosh wanted to go up and train with somebody else for a weekend or something, or during the week to see how they do it and in their training, it's really a good thing, you know, I'm just using him because he's here, but,
Well, and everybody's equipment would be the same.
all right.
It'd be up to date, it'd be everything would roll over. And you'd probably have one or two chiefs, which is really hard with our volunteer fire departments to have chiefs or captains available.
Well, there's somebody about 10 miles south of us that probably never want to do it.
So,
I can't see that happening. And now we're gonna go to wastewater property.
I do have a question on the pooling of the volunteer departments together. If that were to happen, does that mean that all of the departments would be under like one massive department for all of Lassen County, and then we each cover our own little areas, but then we also cover every big area if we want to join in? And also with that, does that mean that, for example, Mike would no longer be a captain and then I would no longer be a chaplain and would just be regulars or something? Cause I'm not. fully
no,
understanding that.
and it's a JPA, so basically Lassen County can make up their own policies and procedures for that. I've suggested since FireNet Lassen is already a JPA, they wouldn't have to start a JPA, they could actually do it under FireNet Lassen JPA. And move forward because FireNet Lassen is actually our 911 calls.
Right.
So it's out there to, everybody's can be a little different. I mean, when we first were talking about, when your grandpa and I went to that thing, it was like, okay, what does Furlong want? Do we just want to keep our guys here? Or do we want somebody, you know, if Milford wanted an ambulance service or an EMT for, you know, during the week, cause their guys are working and they are only available on the weekend, and then we make sure that Milford is covered with an EMT during the week. If we're, you know, if Mike or you or whatever is gone for a few days, we make sure that somebody from another area can come and cover you guys while you're gone. So it's not so much that you're giving up anything, I mean, far as Mike being a captain, he probably would have to qualify to be a captain. And, you know, whatever their boundaries or their policies are to make that happen, then that would be that way. You know, if you say you're only going to be a chaplain and you don't want to do any medical or any fire, then you just probably be on call when they need a chaplain service.
Okay, and my other question is, with combining all together, how would monthly firefighter meetings work? We do one day massive Zoom meeting where we all have to gather at a department over in Susanville or something, as I'm. The logistics of it and I'm not understanding, and also I was wondering if when these big meetings happen relating to the fire department, why doesn't the volunteer department members get notified of these meetings happening? Or at least I haven't gotten any emails or anything.
But none of these things have happened.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying, this has not even happened, we're just
Okay.
talking, like
No,
I'm saying, Plumas County has done this, and
Nevada.
Nevada County has.
okay.
Current, Lassen County, they, you know, well, originally when Johnny and I went to the first meeting, I had, Chief of Janesville, I was trying to get him to kind of push it forward, and he says, well, why would I wanna do anything? I've got a $250,000 annual budget. Cause Janesville's got such a huge tax revenue, so why would they wanna put any of their money
Right,
into the pot?
right, cause
You know, and that was the other thing what we talked about was, okay, if Furlong gets 50,000 a year, do we wanna put 40,000 into the pot? And keep 20,000 here for maintenance on our equipment and our buildings,
another
you know,
thing is,
so it'd all be different, this is, you know, it's just out there, Enosh, it's
Right.
not, nothing is set in
It-
stone.
the big,
There's nothing happened at all. It was just talked and nothing's happened in about 3 years. So it's nothing to be really too concerned about. I don't think it's gonna happen for a while, if it does happen at all.
is it, when if that were to happen, then we have like the big volunteer departments in Lassen County, if they don't jump in and pull their money in, and it's nothing but the little departments like us and Milford, you know, stuff like that. Then I'm wondering what would happen if, let's say, you know, Milford has more volunteers and all of them have regular jobs or somewhere. How would they be able to volunteer and be here? And also, how would they be able to volunteer and be here without our facilities being able to have a bathroom, proper washer and dryer to wash our equipment? Or any decontamination like showers or anything like that, or have like, you know, cots. And with our current setup, if we were to join in with that, I don't believe that our facilities would be able to handle that because, you know, if for one, our garage only has one big garage storage where we can only get one vehicle in and out at a time. If we want to use our structure truck, it's gonna be like half an hour to get that thing out, you have to go back and forth forever to be able to even move it.
Oh, we have to have somebody, I mean, like I said, we don't have anybody licensed except for myself that can even drive the structure truck right now, so,
I thought Mike's not licensed for
no.
it? Okay.
No,
You know.
he didn't come, he did everything, but he didn't complete, take the final test, so.
Okay.
And it,
Reimbursement on his.
yeah,
Right, right. I didn't know that, but you know, but in the future, I'm just wondering if that were to happen, which sounds like it can be a benefit. If all the departments work together and join them, but I don't believe that our facilities as it
well,
stands.
you know, that's what you probably don't know, and we've discussed before. As a board, especially Sandy and I, Louise was involved in it, UK was involved in it. And that's the shed where. The last shed where it was the office of a time
Right.
training area. We talked about putting a shower and stuff in the back right-hand corner, having this little sleeping area there. It's you know, and it's insulated. It's been discussed several times.
I'm
But if we were going to move forward with something like that, that's something that we'd have to utilize that one spot. We could hold a small ambulance if we had one out here also,
right,
as we had ambulance. It's been discussed, it's just nothing's ever come to fruition, but we're not at that stage yet.
right. I was just wondering, cause you know, I haven't been up to date. 'Cause-
Well, I know, that's why I was telling you that there, we have the thought process already.
So the other thing, you know, so with this last project, before we had no water and sewer available at the plant. Or
Right.
at the garage, and there is a water line right to the door and there is sewer right there, so I have brought all that to the fire barn as of the last project.
Right,
That's hence why we now have a fire hydrant at the fire
Right.
barn, which makes sense.
right.
Fire department should have a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
So we can spill it.
Couldn't understand why we do that.
So this board and myself have laid the groundwork to do the improvements.
Okay.
It's just up to the board and funds going forward of what needs to be done.
And also, I would say going forward, if we do that, then having the firefighters actually having access to the equipment would be a benefit. Because currently, as it stands, none of us have access to that container or to any equipment.
Correct.
Which is not something that any of us volunteers are happy with at all. Or that I don't think that the community would be happy with at all, where I don't have access to equipment.
You have access to what you are certified for, and that is
I
your,
know, and
first
I've been
aid.
issued it, but for example, if I run out of gloves and HPUD isn't open because it's late at night, how can I get more gloves?
they're all in here, and if you're out of gloves, if you go through a box of 50 gloves in one night, then you know, that's something that you need to
What
plan
if-
ahead
What
for.
if when I go on a medical call and then something were to happen where my medical gear is damaged and then I have to have new medical gear to be able to respond to where I have to have another set of, let's say, pants? Because, you know, your pants are designed to be able to do that stuff, or, you know, when they get the jumpers, if I need another set of jumpers or something to cover me and I need to be able to get that. I just don't understand also, because when we do training stuff, we're supposed to have proper gear to be able to be safe during training. So when we work on the vehicle, do cleaning and stuff, we're supposed to be able to wear by law, gloves, jacket and helmet. And we can't have access to it. To where when we do trainings where we roll out the hoses and all that stuff, we're supposed to have access to gloves, jacket, and helmet. We don't have access to any of that stuff
You
because.
have it all, you've been issued all of that.
Yes, but when we do training with Garrett now, he doesn't have access to anything where he can't have gloves, jacket, or helmet.
Well, I wasn't apprised that he has done any training that he would need any equipment. And I'm not gonna go through and hand out equipment because unfortunately, equipment in the past has not always came back.
I know, but
And
all the,
so it's, if there, you need stuff in advance, then you need to look and make sure that that's something, just like I went over with the fire department, when you come off a fire,
you need to make sure and replenish everything in that fire so that you're ready for the next time. Just like the commander or the captain said, you know, we go over everything nightly. Every day we go through it. So when you come off, and I know you're volunteers, but when you get done with the medical, you need to know what's in your medical box. If you need something, you need to let us know. If you come off a fire, that fire truck the next day needs to be properly cleaned, it needs to be restocked, and it needs to be taken care of.
Right, I understand. I just was wondering why doesn't the captain have access to the equipment to help be able to issue it out since we actually go on fires and stuff? And also, none of your current volunteers have ever stolen any equipment or kept any equipment, and this has been something that we've been trying to discuss and trying to fix for a while. And
First that I've been told about
this
it,
is not the first you've been
It
told
has,
about
it has.
Okay, hey, all right, that's,
so.
this isn't gonna be a debate session. You made your point, Sandy's answered. I suggest you guys take it up at your next fire board meeting and training to finish this out for what you guys need to do, okay?
So this is just part of the reason why they don't have access to everything, because everybody is getting into a big hurry and not taking care of stuff. In the last week, we've had 4 different things broke, and that's why I'm really having a really hard time. It's not my fire truck, but a $250,000 truck is getting rushed into, and things are getting broke.
What is that?
This was
It's like a
pulled in
handle.
nozzle on the truck.
So that is a part where
And
the.
then we lost the light sock thing. We've had 5 different things. So we've got people that are not being respectful to our equipment. And you know, you are not part of that. And maybe that would probably be why I haven't given permission to the person who thinks he's responsible for it, because he's not responsible.
Well, we had papers to properly, other than just a mechanic paper, which doesn't go over the different things that break, if we have proper paperwork, which we've been asking for a bit. Be able to say, hey, this thing is busted. Be able to say, hey, this thing is busted.
You can't.
Okay, I'm gonna go with point of order at this point.
Yes, yes.
Please, because this has no bearing at this point in this meeting. Please take it to your meeting.
Okay, wastewater property staff has ordered proper signage of wastewater property to try and detour those who want to dump or sleep on our property. Once science and staff will install them, staff are waiting on signage. I also have instructed staff to look into the county easements on our property. Pole Line Road seems to dead end at our property, and not sure if a property behind the district are landlocked or there is a proper easement filed. Oh,
So this is, Pole Line Road is a lot like the road that was going through Sherry's property or Circo's property, when they fenced. The community has just made at least 3 main roads on Herlong's property. We have one that's come straight up the backside of our property. We have one that goes from our property over to Gov Planet, which is all on our property. And from having it properly staked, basically Pole Line Road should end at our property. Because our land goes on the other side of that dirt road. And the county only takes care of it up until our property. So therefore, my question is, the Delia's property back there in that trust, if that's all landlocked, if they even have an easement to get through our property.
There's a question also is with the Sierra Alliance and the people want to do was it 3,000 acres back there with the airport thing and all that. It's been in discussions that they might improve that road if they can't get an easement down Chewing Gum Road to go out to that property. So I was wondering, when I read this and this was brought up, that is there some type of easement that goes through there that that these people have looked into? I think it's just a good question, because if you go all the way out past the depot property to turn to get out to their property, or do they have the only way they can come in is through a window? To get that property, it's something we've never brought up to my knowledge, and I sit on both boards. And I don't know that answer. Do you know that, Barbara?
We'll have to check through the title company.
Okay.
There's I don't know, I was just a little upset, because we had them dumping out there and they're dumping on our property. And now that I know that there's actually 3 roads that go through our property, what is our liability of these guys riding their 4-wheelers, driving their vehicles through our property?
My side loves to go out there.
It's like in the winter time, a lot of those big trucks come down 4 line and cut right through our property to get to
Yeah.
the planet.
I don't think, well, that one and they turn into a property, that road that goes out there, I think needs to be blocked off, when you think, in that where those well things are, that we,
The one that comes up the back right through the middle of our property.
right, yeah, that one
That
there.
one needs to be blocked off.
That was what I was thinking. I don't know about the pull line side, but I know that side, it comes right up next to us there. I don't think that should be open. That's the one that guy was dragging with a trailer, or wherever it was out there.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of,
There's a bunch of stuff out there my last time out.
Do you not have the original coordinates on your APN documents from escrow when it was originally purchased? Cause it should have coordinates on it, like all of our dogs have.
well, we just had, them resurvey it out there.
Okay.
So we have all the stakes out there, for
Right.
our survey, so it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a little piece, cause Brianna and Barbara have been working on the fire department boundaries. There's a little piece of county property that is like a sliver between the prison and us. But it's between the prison and us, which is not that road. So,
Well, I know that one state, when I went out there, I was telling you, I seen it on the right side of the road.
yeah,
Last time I was out there.
yep,
And that's why I was wondering, is that road inside our boundary, because that stick was over here. So I like to go out once in a while, nose around a little bit. Barbara and I go out there and we look at that stuff. Barbara, my wife, not this Barbara. Yeah, but Barbara would go too, if she'll jump in the side by side, she'll tell me about all that property out there. Just a wealth of knowledge. Anyway, if we can, Barbara or Sandy, so you could see if we could check with the county to see if
I'll
that's
check with
blocked
the
off or
title
not.
company. The title company,
Yeah,
from doing real estate, the title company is much more efficient,
right.
sorry,
And you probably get an answer back quicker.
usually while you're standing there.
Yeah,
That's true, though. It's true, I agree.
Now, my question is, on this, proper signage, what is this signage gonna say?
yes, please. So we were just, because of unfortunately Amazon went from having their stuff delivered in UPS and FedEx, went to trying to deliver out here by themselves. They decided to deliver all of our stuff to Plymouth Street in Portola. So, no, Brianna's been upset in a fiasco fight. And the only reason we found that was because the older couple that all these items have been being delivered to, their granddaughter seen Brianna's name, looked her up on Facebook, messaged her on Facebook and said, most of the stuff we've got sent back because my grandmother is denied that it belongs here, but she says, when nobody's here, they just leave it on our porch. And so we found out that it's all going to Portola. I don't know how 96113 goes to Portola, but, and we've had the same Amazon account for 20 years, well, not 20 years, but the last 10 years. So anyhow, we've lost one of the signs, but this was one that we had to order 2 different ones. This is actually a cheaper one, but I think it's going to suffice. So I just had her order one today that says prolonged PUD. With the red and then with this, so we ordered 10 of them. So that we can at least put those up, that says prolonged PUD warning, wastewater facility do not enter, so that we can hopefully put those on all four corners and then back at. You know, where those roads are.
Right.
It'll be a deterrent for the honest, but it's not gonna deter everybody. But at least it's a start, because we talked about doing fencing, we've talked about, you know,
And for fencing, that's when.
so. Anyway, that's where we're kind of at on that. The new Greenway bench is here. The sign was delivered in Reno today. I need to go over there and pick it up for our Greenway. Race, once we get through this setup on the elevated tank, then we're back in it cooling down so that we can remote here and the Greenway again and get things set up for the water sprinklers. And since I couldn't really get couldn't get a precise on the bench, I bought a bench that we can buy plaques and screw in. I've seen several of them so that way if we wanna do, you know, Don Armstrong, Pat Williams, Penny Plug, whatever, we can actually just screw those into those. And we could also use the benches that are out there once those are refurbished to put people's names on too as a memorial. And then haven't touched base with Buddy yet to see if he could do the big one that the community could add
Yeah, I
to.
didn't ask, cause I didn't wanna get in the middle of it. It was just a suggestion that I had. I thought made out of
I think
metal would be a lot better than wood. It won't be blowing over or rotting off. And
Have you thought about talking about the, contacting the welding program over here, cause the high school, does welding, for the adults? And maybe
that
see
guy's
if
a
they
good
would be
welder,
able
vet-
to,
vet
like
instructor
a
over there.
project. Yeah.
That
'Cause I
would be,
know,
that's a good idea. If we supplied the metal, they probably supply the expertise. Good idea, Sherry.
what about that?
Nothing, and they're just gonna be starting up now,
Exactly.
so that give them a project.
Mm-hmm,
If we had enough people that sign up for welding
right.
to do it, but I mean, he's had some decent classes over there. And he runs that and the mechanic automobile part of it.
Mhm.
He's been pretty successful at doing that. it seems
Exactly.
like.
I know I have one of my clients that just moved in, she's interested in signing up, I told her to contact Peter, so.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, that's all I've got.
Okay, I guess you have a meeting here at SDRMA.
The CSDA conference is next week, so I will be gone Saturday through Friday. And then, our next meeting is.
Yeah, we're having cake and a party while you're gone, so don't. Barbara's baking a cake.
No, you gotta bake a cake too.
I hope it's successful and you learn a lot. Bring back to us.
It's gonna be busy.
It always is.
Just looking at the Monday calendar and I said, Monday, so it takes 5 hours to get down there on Sunday and then, I have appointments from 9 AM to 9 PM on Monday, so. And then SDLF board meeting on Tuesday and then SDRMA sponsors the breakfast and I'll do the opening speaking on Wednesday. And then do the awards for SDLF and CSDA part, so. It'll be busy and hopefully there's a couple of classes, there's a Prop 218 class, which, I've got that spread all over my desk right now, trying to get that ready. I was trying to get a letter out to Steve so that he could review it while I'm gone. So that we can start, bring that to the board next month so that you guys can agree upon what we're sending out to our customers for a rate increase. And
starting in 2026.
Well, a rate increase in one and a decrease on the other for a while, correct?
Yeah, for West Patton Village,
Right.
unfortunately for everybody else, it'll be an increase.
Hillcrest will be an increase.
No, they'll be the same, but
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Serco.
I just didn't want Patty to get excited over here till before she hit, but thinking, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Increase, wait a minute.
On the water side, it's actually a 4-year decrease for
Yeah.
the West Patton Village and Hillcrest. That'll be an increase.
It's just a positive note. Hey, we need, we have a director's update from you, young lady.
Nothing really. I got the email today for our Reading trip for October, so. For me, myself and Brianna, and who else is going?
Just the two.
Okay, just two of us. Other than that, I don't have anything going on.
So Sherry's doing the leadership, the 4 modules that you've all done in the past. I think Lee and Eula both did them. They were lucky enough to do them during COVID, so they got to do them from from home.
Right.
Okay.
I don't relish the idea of going to Reading in September, October, because it's hot, so, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. Air conditioning will be my friend. Other than that, well, I'll be gone this weekend. Nothing else happening.
I'm just gonna go fishing, I don't care. Oh, I went yesterday, I forgot.
I worked yesterday, sorry.
They were kind of catfish yesterday. Real nice trout up at Frenchman, we're smoking them.
Yeah.
You know, Eagle Lake the week before for a week, it's tough life.
It's like dinner.
Yeah.
Say,
And,
you can bring us any smoked fish?
Well, it's in the smoker today.
Oh, okay.
Or tomorrow, maybe. Brother Lee,
No,
anything?
no, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Barbara, you have anything to throw out there at me?
Not bringing the cake.
Oh, you have to buy one? Oh, you're off the hook then.
Got out here at the last moment
Oh, hi, Eula.
here, trying to get her unmuted, but.
There she is.
She has to unmute herself.
I did. I've just been listening to the last end of this meeting and thanking God I was able to finally get through there.
So. I make a motion, meeting adjourned at 6:51. Thank you for showing up, Eula. We appreciate it. We did everything that you. That was. Just
You really don't want to hear what I have to say. It's not repeatable.
Hey, every time. Now, go ahead. You're the director. Go ahead and say something, whatever you need. What's going on?
No, I'm at the very last end of this. I'm just thankful to be able to get through. I'll tell you guys about it when we're not in a meeting about what I had to do to get through. You won't believe it with my computer skills. I did it. Yay.
So we've got races to sign and.
Yeah, I got to sign.
Minutes to sign. I
I
think we have
don't
a few more
forget,
checks to
I'm not
sign.
leaving.
And I will go grab the resolution for you guys to sign too.
Yeah, we want you to sign checks here, okay?
I'm ready. I have my phantom pin.
Thanks, John.
Bye, Patty.
Fire.
I don't want you to take care of it, buddy.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah.
The auxiliary, so who is above? Okay.
And then there's another one, there's.
Right. Exactly.
John, what we gonna do with this? Take it to
Yeah,
her?
we're gonna.
Okay,
Okay.
let's say,
Thanks for
Because,
coming. Appreciate it.
that went a
Gosh,
little too
man.
far,
Did you?
so.
Did your
that's
dad
why
go
I
to
put
30
it
seconds still?
I don't know if he's coming back on 22nd. He has to come back for a funeral.
I know, 20 seconds.
Oh,
How are you
That's
feeling?
Probably what it is.
Doing good?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
Carl's gonna start radiation.
They want to come back then.
How long?
You know, he's opted to go
Yeah, so.
where they're gonna pinpoint where the cancer is, at least now. And then they'll check his PSA levels every 3 months.
Yeah, well.
See if it goes up.
Stairs.
So,
Oh, wow.
you know, can you do that right? Writing is so much prettier than mine.
Oh, she still has pretty handwriting too.
Yeah.
I have a lady handwriting.
see that on.
Yeah.
What do we do with it for?
Huh?
What do we do with this?
That's for the pay?
Yeah.
Do you wanna start doing it?
No, that's you, Lou.
No, I'll save it for next time.
She's doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't here.
Well, she's like.
She was only for
I
like,
know that. Yeah, he's doing it.
we have to have, there has to be a, like,
Cool.
remember we talked about doing the, length of time?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Know what, how I adapted this. My father sent me some script, stickers that had ABCs all over it. And my maiden name Norris, I started doing it and then I adapted it to mine. So, yeah,
Very cool.
the squirrelies,
That was your.
yeah.
First day of training with that.
very cool. I would, you know, I used to have,
Yeah, we
I used to
did,
have beautiful hair. We went to a swimming school and after we came in, we did share 5 to 10 to 15 minutes depending on how we were behaving in our classes. That was to calm it all down.
So it became scribble after that.
Oh, no, as I got older, I just,
Gets a certain amount of.
working for the post office,
I know,
big thing.
Too much, yeah.
You know, I'm writing all the time,
Right
and
now,
it was
yeah,
just,
but usually.
you know,
Trainings, yeah.
now I can do BD and it looks okay. Because I used, you know, and that's how I,
Right.
how I did things. I wish you didn't have that on.
Medical.
Oh.
But Andy was.
Oh, yeah.
She told me I'm not.
Yeah, she needs to turn it on.
Barbara is
Ooh,
probably requesting,
certificate.
turn this off, please.
Oh.
Cause we're both like right in front of it.
Can I just do?
Everybody who holds here is a good person.
Yeah. I remember last time I had to deal with Royce up at the church when he did inspected our.
I signed that one there. Well, not that one, that just,
This one.
well,
Oh, you
I
signed?
think, well, I signed something that I